Hello friends, followers and channel members. Oh, it's always great fun when we have an update. Thankfully this one seems to have gone a lot smoother than the last one, for me personally anyway. So we're all downloaded and we're sat on the ground in Rotterdam at the moment. We're going to fly over Rotterdam and a bit of the Netherlands. We're going to have a look at Brussels, Luxembourg. Where else? We're going to nip over to Charles de Gaulle as well, and then we're going to finish down in Nice on the Mediterranean coast. So that'll be nice. No real world procedural flying. We'll obviously do our bit, but we're going to have a little bit of fun tonight and enjoy. Now, unfortunately, the cabin crew has also deserted for this evening. No self-loading cargo. I've not tested that yet, but initial reports show that this update has broken FSUIPC, which self-loading cargo uses and a host of other mods use as well. So things like yaw controls is also not working either. So there are a few things, a few bugs, which, as we've now come to expect, whenever we get an update, things don't work. So there is basically early news that's coming out of it. Is let's just have a quick look. So known issues that we've got. Basically. Yes, so your controls, updates, things like that, and as I said, FSUIPC not working. So unfortunately, no cargo crew, no cabin crew, which means you're just going to have to serve yourself alcohol on this flight. So Dickens FS, thanks for that. Yes, so just seen that you've got your controls, MobiFly to FSUIPC. They'll cause crash to desktops. Funnily enough, none of those were loaded in my community folder or any other mod that required those was loaded. I was still getting crashed to desktops. And Christian, I can see you in the chat, my friend. Christian, I'm afraid to say, unfortunately, you'll see I'm not flying our Easyjetsimpilot livery. Converting that using the FlyByWire installer, which is still in developer phase at the moment. There is a FlyByWire installer with livery converter built in. Unfortunately, that was causing a crash to desktop. So we've had to go and grab ourselves another EasyJet livery for this flight. Hopefully we'll get the new we'll get a new one pretty soon. No idea why it's causing an issue, but there we go. HT, good evening. Put the ruler away because I'm going to break so many rules this evening. And it's an open bar indeed. But just before we actually get it, in fact, you know what, let me just jump in and let's get some external power running. Flick the batteries on, external power, and I'll also be interested to see what the frame rates and things like that are following this. I've also heard mixed things regarding the performance. Normally after they do some sort of update, a lot of people report better performance, don't they? I've heard mixed things. A lot of people saying the performance has actually been rolled back now, so we shall we'll have to wait and see with regards to that. How much fuel do I need for this? Let's have a look. This is the other thing as well. I want to check things like fuel loading works. So if we get crash to desktops, I'm afraid I can't do anything about that. So 5.5 tons, but we're going to be doing a little bit of sightseeing. So let's... and I'm also probably going to fly a lot lower as well. This is planned for flight level 370. We're not going to see much scenery at that altitude. Or do you know what? Let's load 10. That might be a bit excessive. 10 tons. If we load 8 tons, that should be fine. So can we load that? Do it in real time. 2 minutes. See if that works. There we go. Defueling. That appears to be working. We'll keep an eye on that. Watch for our fuel starting to disappear there on the ECAM and the fuel tanks. Right, so in terms of cockpit prep setup, just making sure all the levers still work, which they appear to. That's good. Let's get some screens turned up. as well, shall we? A little bit of brightness. 5,000 feet, that's a nice cruising altitude, isn't it? Let's see what is the weather doing. 1032, that's nice and high. I've noticed this little thing as well. The on the map here you can see that the aircraft's flickering away to itself, so that's I'm not sure what that's all about. That's something else fly-by-wire I'm sure will fix pretty quickly. So, just coming back to the chat a little bit. So, Oliver, did I have the packages issue? I got it once. I've not had it since this update, but it's very early days, isn't it? JMO, yeah, I'm going to show the airport. Absolutely going to show the airport. And the update is out now. Go ahead and get that. So 1032. Let's set those. That's nice and high, isn't it? Let's turn that on. Oh, Nightbot is drunk. What's Nightbot doing? Let's get rid of the Nightbot. He's already been on the open bar. Let me close that down. Disable, absolutely. Disable. Right, so, what am I doing? QNH 1032. I could have just cheated, couldn't I? I could have pressed the letter B on the keyboard, but let's try and be a little bit realistic. And flight directors on. Let's get that ECAM turned up as well. All right. So some weights and balances. Then we'll still make sure they work, because it's also about testing the A320NX, of course. Fly-by-wire work very, very hard for stuff on stuff like this. What is really nice, though, as this is now a standalone aircraft, hopefully we shouldn't have too many issues. So we're gonna have to wait and see. So Dickens FS USIPC works okay with you. Which version are you on, my friend? I'm on the very, very first one that ever got released for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, and I've never updated since, and it seems to be working perfectly. Those that have updated have seemed to have some issues, so I never bothered with that. Will I attend the Cross the Pond event on VATSIM? Not until I can do holds in this aircraft without having to do them manually. God no. I get RSI twiddling those knobs. Let's go and pull this in from SimBrief. There we go, that's still working. So about an hour and 45 minutes, but we may stop at some of the airports that we're going to overfly just for a little bit of luck. And so AOC, performance, weights and balance, we're not going to touch the fuel page, and see if that's all correct. I believe it is. It will be, I'm certain it is, but it's nice just to double check those things. Seems strange not having self-loading cargo flying in the background. I daren't fire it up. I daren't, just in case we wreck the stream tonight. So as you can see, there's a little route that we're going to be flying out of Rotterdam, where we are at the moment, and I've just put some directs in. So we're heading over to Brussels, then Luxembourg, and then over to Charles de Gaulle, and then we're going to continue our flight all the way down to the south coast of France. So excellent. Right, yeah. Oh, I'm sure that's fine. I'm pretty certain that they're going to match up, aren't they? However, I will just change that zero fuel weight center of gravity. Let's just pop that to 30 as well, so that matches up. There it is. And load. Right, how's that fuel doing? Oh, that was interesting. I was trying to scroll. I was trying to pan around, and I wasn't able to. Then let's just check that again. Ah, okay. So if I'm on the main view, which is fine, I can pan around. If I'm on a custom view, I appear to be able to pan around. If I am in one of the preset views from the aircraft itself, I can no longer pan around using my mouse. That's interesting. Anyone else discover that? Or if anyone else is in the simulator at the moment, it has to be the A320NX experimental version, which is what I'm on tonight. Anyone else got a similar issue? That's very strange. I see no reason why that. Can I use the arrows? I can use the arrows to move around, but I can't pan with the mouse. I mean, it's not a major thing, to be honest with you, but obviously it's quite nice. Nick, you've got your gin ready. Good stuff. Yeah, so all I wanted to do was just see what the aircraft weight was, see if it matched up. So aircraft weight is showing 67.5 tons, and what do we got here? Takeoff weight 6. Yeah, we added a bit more fuel, so that's fine. So that works. So Christian, you've never used preset views. Oh, like I say, if anyone's in the, I use it. This is the only one I use, the one to look down at the McDo. So that seems to be fine. But I can't look around at it, which is rather strange. So IRS alignment showing a line. So is that still taking place? I can't just quickly look up to find out anymore. I have to look around. Oh yeah, 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes, that's fine. Okay, so with all of that set up, I'm not firing up FS ERPC and self-loading cargo. I'll probably do a test tomorrow offline to make sure that all works. So let's come back here. Aircraft status. Yeah, the AirX cycle was still valid, so that wasn't going to update. That's fine. So let's pull the information in from SimBrief. How's that working? That's working very nicely. There it all is. Everything is correct. So our flight plan, we're departing today from runway 24. Wow, that's a short runway. Runway 24, I think it is. Let me just have a double check on that. Yeah, runway 24. Right, so obviously 2,200 meters. Oh, that's interesting. Hang on. 2,200 meters, and we've got 1,800 meters shown there. What is the runway takeoff available? Takeoff runway. Is it not showing me on there? Why is it not showing me on there? Not that it matters. We'll get the aircraft up by hook or by crook. Oh, it's down there on the same chart. There's the takeoff runs. So takeoff runway available, runway 24 from the runway ahead is 2199. Yeah, so it's the information in the database there that I'm looking at that's correct. So it is. I didn't think it was as short as 1800. So it's about 2,200 from the runway ahead. There we go. Right, so happy with that. So runway 24, and our star, not star, our SID is Woody 1 Bravo. Woody 1 Bravo. There it is. Okay, got that inserted. And that's all I need to do for now. Actually, no, we'll pop the arrival runway in. What arrival are we looking for? We are looking at Lilima. Oh, thank you very much for your kind donation there to the channel. And Lilima says, I really enjoy the videos. Keep up the good work. Oh, you're very, very welcome. And thank you very much again for your very kind donation there. Hopefully, I'm going to entertain you this evening. And no crash to desktops. No crash to desktops, please, for any of us. Runway 04 left, and the Nisra 7 Romeo. So let's put that in. ILS 4 left, and Nisra 7 Romeo. Now, which approach fix is that? Let's have a quick look. We could probably do this en route tonight if we're not doing it properly, but we'll just have a check. Nisra Romeo via Tipic. That's fine. Via Tipic, coming in over the Alps. I think in the real world, HD will confirm this, that we'd probably do the RNAV, not the not the ILS, just for noise abatement rules. But who cares? Let's buzz the south coast of France this evening. Right, insert. That's fine. HD, I've just seen you type in typic. I know roughly now how delayed the stream is. 744 miles, as we're not flying direct, obviously. So we're flying through varying different places. Actually, that's quite close though on that distance that's shown there. So that's really nice. Paul Howell's not got a clue what I was doing there. You've got a lot to learn. Don't worry, Paul. I'm literally zipping through things. If you want to do one of the proper flights with us, join us sometime. And when we're doing real ops, real world flights, where I will go through and explain a few more things. All right, so I'm happy with how all that now looks. Radnav page. Now we'll not bother with that. Fuel prediction. Actually, it's the init B page first of all, so we can actually cheat. Although those don't match the figures that I've got, but never mind. Trip wind is gone. We'll pop that in. Trip wind is a tailwind of 22. And fuel planning, aircraft suggests about 5.7 tons, and we're actually taking. I can't just look up. Can't look up and see how much we've loaded. What have we got? 8.1 tons. So 8.1 tons in there. Plenty of fuel for sightseeing. Take-off weight is 67.4. Oh boy. Okay. What I will do is I shall do a quick takeoff performance. We probably wouldn't need to. We could just go toga flaps. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, let's not mess about. So let's go toga, and what do we reckon, HD? How heavy are we? You can use your experience here to help me out. What are we? We're at 67, so we're not massively heavy. About 2,100 meter runway. Toga flaps 2. Sound good? Will that get us in the air? We'll wait and see. But HD, I've just come back into the chat now. Yeah, use the RNAV, but there's a better view on the ILS. Well, that's good enough for me. We're sightseeing tonight. Right, so let's just enter these and manage nav, and we'll set 7,000 feet initially for the climb. So toga flaps 2, happy with that. And performance page, let's just set this up very quickly then. Transition altitude here, I have no idea. It's probably quite low down, isn't it, in the Netherlands? Like 3,000 feet. Let's have a look. Transition. Oh, look, that was a good guess. 3,000 feet. There we go. Set that. And look at the thrust reduction acceleration. I've never seen it below 1,000. Let's leave that there. Flaps 2, and let's calculate those V speeds. Captain 79, what's the trick in typing in your information into SimBrief without switching everything on and off in the aircraft? I'll show you that in a minute. Basically, select the right, press down the right Alt key, and if I just zip over to that now. If you select the right Alt key, your mouse cursor becomes a little plus sign, and you click, and then it brings it into a window here. So now you're typing everything into a window rather than, as you say, controlling everything into the in the simulator. So that's how you stop daft things happening. I know what you mean. So there. Welcome to Mr. Frosty on Twitch, and to Emerson Franco on Facebook. Thank you very much for the follow. Alright, so without further ado, let's just see. Passengers, you guys are all on board. We're almost full, 170 viewers, 180 passengers is the most we can get on. We can take an unlimited amount today, of course. Right, so that all looks fine. Let's get some APU bleed on. We'll get the fuel pumps on as well. Refueling's finished. Seatbelt signs also coming on as well. So if you can all start to take your seats after visiting the bar, then it's time now to run a couple of checks, and we'll not even push back today. Let's have a quick look while that APU is firing up. Let's have a look outside, shall we? So here we are in Rotterdam. This is one of the new handcrafted airports, and as you can see, looking very nice. So I think this will be another airport that we add to the list. In fact, it's looking beautiful, isn't it? I can't say that I know Rotterdam very, very well, though I know a few of my channel members do, and have said that it's great. In fact, look at that, we've got some signage out front here. Let's go and have a quick look at that, shall we? Let me just speed up. I'm going to just speed up the camera just so we can zoom around a little bit more with that. There we go. So wow, look at that. That's really, really neat. Yeah, I'm presuming these buildings are accurately rendered. As I say, I've never been to Rotterdam Airport, but look at this. How nice. Rotterdam The Hague. There it is. Very nice. And departures. Where's arrivals? Oh, there we go. There's arrivals. So yeah, really, really neat. And you know, the older this simulator gets, the better it's going to be, isn't it? It really is absolutely fantastic. And of course, we're getting modded airports all the time, payware and freeware. And of course, if Azobo are continuing to do this, then we can't really complain, can we? It looks fantastic. Right, so runway we are departing from is at the other end. And look at that, we've got the no entry signs and maximum wingspan signs, great taxiway signs all the way down, which is exactly what you want when flying on VATSIM, things like that. So we've got a nice long taxi all the way down there. In fact, we'll have a look at that when we get there. Right, so how's that APU doing? Let's have a quick look. Peter Mall, you've been there a few times. It looks almost exactly the same. Excellent. That's what we want to hear. Right, APU is running. Let's get the APU bleed air on. External power can come off. We don't need any anti-ice. That's fine. So I think we can tell our external power to go away. Do you see? Yeah, the airport is in the new update, and it's free, of course. Now, as we're going to taxi straight out, we're just going to run over the tug driver. So that's a shame. RIP to him. Let's just run some quick checks. So I'm actually doing these as I read through the checklist, so naughty me, never mind. Cockpit prep is all now set up, thrust levers, etc., all in the right place, yada yada yada. Everything is turned on. Signs are on and auto, as we can see. Ideas, let's double check 3 nav green, because I haven't done that yet. IRS 3 nav green, there we go. Fuel quantity is loaded and balanced. Flight management guidance system is now all set and programmed in for what we needed for tonight anyway. Altimeter 1032 set and cross check. Let's just double check we've not got any change to that. 1032 is still showing, so that's present. Okay, departure briefing. We're going to taxi, as I say, down there. We're going to take off, and then we're going to turn the autopilot on while we enjoy the scenery. Windows and doors. Let's get ready for pushback. So, rotating beacon light is coming on. We don't need the pushback tug. That's not important. In fact, we just want to start getting ready. And then we can get the engines fired up. So windows and doors are now closed and armed. Rotating beacon light is on. Parking brake is also on. Let's begin those engines. So ignition mode, engine start, and starting engine number 1. So we'll allow that to fly up a little bit. Hello, share on Facebook, and Emerson Franco as well. Thanks for joining us. Of course, those of you that watch regularly on YouTube, you can also find us now on Facebook. Same username, Easyjetsimpilot. Right, so let me just come back to the chat a little bit and see what's happening there while I'm just waiting for that to fire up. Nick, it sounds like a sarcastic Sunday, but on a Tuesday. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I kind of like doing these streams every so often, a little bit less serious. In fact, HD will testify if you're still there. I've done my serious bit of flying for today, and yeah, More info on that in the future, so you can hit subscribe button if you want to know more about what I've been practicing today. You'll find out in due course. Right, so I'm just waiting for engine number 1 to stabilise. The difference is as well, of course, Nick, I actually know how to fly this aircraft, unlike the CRJ. Harvest Moon, you had some problems today. You landed in Kansai, but you had to do a manual landing. The autopilot was putting you left of the runway. I'm not familiar with the airport. Is it an offset localizer? That would be the first thing I'd want to check. Dark, imagine doing this in the CRJ. Oh, no chance. No chance. I couldn't do it in the CRJ. I wouldn't trust the auto thruster. Yeah, the auto thruster's non-existent in the CRJ. That's why I couldn't do it. Let's lock those flight deck doors. In fact, you know what? No, let's really rebel. I'm going to leave those flight deck doors open so you can all come down and have a look at the scenery. HD, you're still writing about the speed problem on takeoff. Yeah, I look forward to playing with that as well once done. Okay, we're just waiting for engine 2 to spool up, and then we'll go. Jussie, unfortunately you've got to run. It's getting late. You need to go to sleep if you need to wake up in the morning. That's completely understandable. It's now 11:15 here in the UK, but I don't mind stopping up for you guys for these sorts of streams when we've had an update. Okay, engine 2 is close to firing up. HD's told you it would be an essay. Yeah, you weren't joking. When did you start writing that? Yesterday? Or maybe a thesis. What kind of thesis is that? The trials and tribulations of the A320 Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's not a thesis, that's a book. Alright, so we have got engine number 2 stabilised. Let's engine mode select, norm, APU bleed off, anti-ice not required, APU masters coming off, and spoilers, rudder trim, and flaps 2, and takeoff trim is, oh, these have also been reverted back to gallons and pounds. Not that I'm going to touch those, but that's just something to be aware of if you are touching these. I'm not sure why. I'll have to go back into the settings and change those. Centre of gravity is 31.6, so let's have a quick look. Scroll that up there, 31, there we go, close enough. Alright, so let me just do a quick flight control check. 1, 2, left and right, up, down, and the rudder, full right, full left. HD, you see the word count on your manuals. You're pretty sure there's more words in the manuals than the whole of the dissertation you did at uni. Fair enough. Jedis Thor, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We'll go to Nice, get wrecked there, and fly home with a hangover tomorrow. Sound good? Right, so with that done, I have to start checklist. Anti-ice off, ECAM status is checked and all fine. Pitch trim is set, and rudder trim is also set. Let's get the transponder on, and let's start to roll, shall we? Parking brake out. Gabby, for some reason you're not the first person to say I sound like Rod Stewart. I wish I was. I wish I added bank balance. That's for sure. I'm afraid I'm not going to sing you a tune. Ferran, it's set by default to 26.9. Remember, that's the aircraft's empty centre of gravity. Oh, Christian, don't go telling people what I look like. You'll put them off. Right, so as we're coming down this nice, steady, even taxiway, HD, you'll also be interested to know that I'm actually doing all of this from memory. I've got nothing in front of me in terms of The only thing I've got in front of me is the normal checklist. I've not got anything else. So, testing my memory this evening. Okay, so we've done the flight controls. Our departure briefing has been very minimal, but we're happy with that. Takeoff. Let the autopilot take us to our first sightseeing spot. Flap settings config 2. FMA takeoff data 129 blue, 134 magenta. Climb nav blue, 7000 blue, 1 FD2, and it's a toga takeoff. Transponder is on. ECAM memo takeoff no blue. Electronic flight bag is stowed. I'm not sure "We Are Sailing" is the correct is the right song for us to have on this flight. It'd be quite nice, wouldn't it, if I could play music on the stream, but particularly music like that, I'd get a slap from Facebook. So Chico, this is Rotterdam. This could be Rotterdam or anywhere. And looking very, very nice it is. Digital has just mentioned a good shout. Actually, you obviously need to go to the content manager and make sure you downloaded the actual update. Once you've done the big world update, you still need to download the actual package in the content manager. And there's also lots of little itty bitty ones, isn't there? Which I'll be honest, for the sake of this, I haven't updated. I will do, of course, but yeah. So Farhan, you've noticed that the perf page in the McDo gives different speeds to the A320 calculation page that I use. Yeah, well, you've also got to remember that the WebPro web page is using the A320 CFM old engines. It's not using the Neo engines, so they're not normally too far away. And in fact, HD has been very kind on occasion to use the real calculator that he has, and they're not a million miles away. So that's quite nice. And I believe we've got the fire engine here as well, the fire station. Oh, digital, are those to fix the package errors? Ah, fair enough. Very nice. I like the big X there. Is that to just remind us that we're not allowed into the fire station? Oh, look at that! Rotterdam The Hague Airport in the grass. How nice. Captain 79, do I have a video explaining the trim that I just did? Yes, I do. In the Real World Procedures playlist. Go and check that out, and that will explain what's happening there. Look at that. How neat. Now, has anyone got an actual list of the airports that have been tampered with in this update? Obviously Rotterdam has, but I couldn't find any other ones that have really had a big overhaul. Now we know that was it Bristol in the UK update, and Liverpool, they got an overhaul, but yeah, I could only find it. Sorry, just rewind that on the stream about 10 seconds. Watch that windsock. It was spinning around. Look, there we go. What's the wind doing here? Is it light and variable? Anyone got a METAR for Rotterdam at the moment? It looks pretty dead anyway. But I don't think I've ever seen the windsock just going around like that. So that was quite neat. So I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, how many airports? What airports have been updated? I only know about Rotterdam. So Mark 456, how do I keep the plane on a straight line on the centre line? Yours are going right to left. So I'm using the rudder to steer that. Thank you, Dark. So where we've got Nice, which is obviously where we're going to, Rotterdam where we're departing from. Alright, so there's only, and where's McGeeve? Airport. I'm not pronouncing that right. But where's that? Obviously somewhere in France. I'm not familiar with that one. But there we are. So Pitamol, that's the new fire station. They also have new crash tenders. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. And digital, is that right? Orbex have been involved to help fix over 100 airports. That's fantastic. Wind 150 at 1 knot. So yeah, we're not going to bother with that, are we? Okay, right. Well, let's get ready for takeoff. Let's get some lights on. Strobe lights, takeoff, landing lights, nose lights, all looking good there. Let's get the transponder, TCAS, TARA, tilt above, and we got the packs off as well. Okay, so we're ready to go. Before takeoff checklist below the line, cabin is secured for takeoff, engine mode selector norm, TCAS, TARA, tilt above, packs are off, anti-ice is also off. Let's have a look. Ginger, am I going to fly low and take in the sights? Yeah, certainly. Certainly am. Justin, how did I get the Easyjet livery? Because since the A320NX fork, you've lost all yours. Downloaded from... is that landing light meant to be there? I'm guessing that could cause a bit of damage to a landing gear if they're not careful. It is from flightsim.to. If you want to head to flightsim.to, that's where we've got this from. What we might do as well is we might do an auto land into a couple of airports, just so we can enjoy the views as it does it. All right, so let's go. And we'll set 50% N1. Let that stabilize and then go toga. Man toga, SRS, runway still not showing. I'm guessing there's an ILS here. I've not double checked that, so 100 knots. V1 and rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. And I've not checked the charts, I'm just following the flight directors for this. So thrust reduction acceleration is at about 1,000 feet. So we'll drop the nose. Right now, start to accelerate away. And we can now go flaps 1. We're at thrust climb. Flaps 1. Put those packs back on. And once we've got the flaps up, we'll turn autopilot on, shall we? And have a look. Also want to make sure, of course, the aircraft flies as well as it was doing before the update. So here's S speed, flap 0, ground spoilers disarmed, and we'll just get it to 200 and 250 knots. Let's put autopilot 1 on now, actually. So autopilot 1 is engaged, and we can have a little look at our scenery beneath and see how the frame rate's handled as well. Very important, of course. Alex, I can turn the sound up if you wish, so that might be a little bit better for you. So just targeting 250 knots at the moment, below 10,000 feet, of course. Aircraft pitching up to maintain that. Good stuff. So that's going to level off at 7,000 feet for us in a moment. Let's release that cabin crew nice and early. There we go. So, drinks are on the way, guys. Ice. Do we have ice? Apparently we have ice. Okay. We do have a little bit of cloud. Whether that would trigger an ice warning, I don't know. But Microsoft Flight Simulator has always been rather dodgy when it comes to ice, hasn't it? There we go. Speed alt start, 7,000 feet. That sounds like a nice cruising altitude to our first waypoint, our first airport. So we're going to Brussels first. Brussels. It's not that far away from Rotterdam. And there we are, 7,000 feet. You know what? Let's get those landing lights off, even though we're cruising nice and low. Never mind. And there we are. Oh, that looks nice. Looks really nice. So David Moore, good evening. I'm on the experimental version. That's the version that I'm testing out with the new update. So far, no major issues with performance. Although I did read one of the guys on our Discord earlier. I think it was one of the channel members, I can't remember, said that they went to Charles de Gaulle and the simulator became a bit of a slideshow. So we'll see what happens when we get there. But this looks really, really nice. Really, really nice. Marco, thank you very much, sir, for your lovely kind donation. Marco says, welcome, World Update 4. Let's hope all goes to plan, shall we? Okay, everything seems to be going to plan. We'll just jump back inside. We'll turn off those seatbelt signs, and there you go. You can now enjoy a little bit of a smoke. A little bit of a drink. I was looking at the no smoking sign on the eCam then. Yeah, so Nick Taylor on Facebook, thank you for your follow, and Mark Brodnax as well. Gab, how can you disable the updates? Well, of course, you can't, and that's one of the things that a lot of people are a little bit frustrated with. You can't disable the updates. So, if you just wanted to jump on now, you got home from work, you just want to jump in, you just wanted to fly, you can't. You've got to do a big update first. There's no way to disable the updates, unfortunately. Should we get the VFR map up as well? So we'll look at that. So there you can see our first airport is Brussels. Brussels. Should we land there? I don't think it's an airport that's actually been tinkered with. Certainly wanted to overfly it and see what that looked like. I'm not flying all the way to Cuba, HD. We couldn't probably do it. We probably couldn't do it now, could we? The fuel burn on the aircraft is much more realistic. So no longer can we just jump in the aircraft and expect it to fly all the way to wherever we want it to go. Do you know what we might do? We might just tell you what we'll do. Let's just let's set 10,000 feet as our cruise in inverted commas, just so we can get faster than 250 knots. That should have been pulled on departure to standard. Naughty me. Never mind. But I don't know about you. The detail down here is looking pretty crisp. I'm quite liking this. Adrian Tompkins, thank you very much, sir, for your very, very kind donation. And Adrian says thank you for everything you do. Oh, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. I enjoy it. I really, really do. And doing it for you guys, of course, having you guys here with me while I'm doing it, makes it even more enjoyable. And I like having fun while flying. Of course, For those of you that may be new to the channel this evening, we normally do a lot of things by the book and take things as seriously as possible. Tonight, of course, we're just having a little bit of a chilled flight, chilled relax, letting autopilot do most of the work, and which isn't too dissimilar from normal flights, except we're a little bit more, we scrutinise it a little bit more. But yeah, we're just enjoying the scenery today, which is really nice. So, with all the world updates that they're planning on doing, I have no idea how many they're planning on doing, how far around they're going to, how far around the world they're going to go. We've obviously, what have we had now? We've had Japan, we've had America, we've had UK, and now we've got France, Benelux, etc. I read somewhere where the next one was. I've completely forgotten where that is. But yeah, so it's obviously the next one. I don't know how many world updates they're going to do. Once they've done them, are they going to go around again just to add even more things? I mean, as though we've committed 10 years to this project, which is just phenomenal. And it's it's going to be so good. I cannot wait. This is the sort of stuff that when I was a kid, in my early teens, playing Flight Sim 95. This is the sort of stuff you can only dream of. Griddy, the Nordics, that's it. I knew I'd read it somewhere before. The Nordics and X. Oh, imagine the scenery we're going to get there. That is going to be absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So Bravo 632, you've had to take out the Macro Sims Manchester since the update. Your sim won't run it in the community to fold a massive frame rate hit. Oh, that's interesting. Do you know what? I'm not actually sure if I've got any. I'm not actually sure if I've got any modded airports in the regions that we're flying in. I wouldn't be able to check it. I'm just trying to think where we've got. No, I've got German airports. We've got Palma, Mallorca from Just Sim. A few from Aerosoft, and obviously then, as you say, there's Manchester, Birmingham from Macro Simulations, and the fantastic freeway Gatwick. Yeah, so with this update I've not even been able to test them. HD, yeah, you need a PC. Yeah, I can imagine watching stuff like this must be tugging at those heartstrings. We need to set up a merch fund, a HD PC fund. We'll do a crowdfunding. Just seeing those engines spool up. What are we doing? Oh, okay. We're just increasing speed to a cruising speed. Fair enough. Still holding 10,000 feet though, that's great. Zamke's on Twitch. Hello, is the fly-by-wire problem fixed, or you still have an older version? How's the new update? Okay, so I'm flying the very latest experimental version, literally updated about an hour before I flew, and it's working fine. HD, yeah, of course. If we could just get you back to work, then a lot of problems would be solved, wouldn't it? But if you went back to work, then you wouldn't have time to fly. Where's this cloud cover coming from? That's no good. I might have to take off real world weather just for a little bit. I don't want real world. I don't want cloud cover. Although of course the clouds look decent as always. So Air Troupe did a flight from your hometown Alicante today to Innsbruck. Got to Innsbruck, the plane went down. Really fed up when that happens in Innsbruck because it's a hard airport to land at. Funnily enough, Air Troupe, I've spent half the afternoon at Innsbruck Airport today. Innsbruck is a very difficult airport to land at. An equally difficult airport to take off from. So if you do fancy trying a landing at Innsbruck, check out the video we did yesterday, and it actually has a there's actually we did a bit of a tutorial flight there. Do you know what? I'm just going to start a descent. We'll hold 250 knots. Right, I'm just getting some frame rate stuff there. I don't know if something's starting to populate in. You can probably see that on the stream. that looks really great, doesn't it? Look at the detail down there. I have no idea where I'm flying over, and I think that looks amazing. Steve, how am I getting managed climb to work? I'm limited to open OBS, thought it was a bug. Okay, so managed climb actually works pretty well. And to be fair, managed climb, open climb, pretty much a similar sort of thing. The only difference, of course, is managed climb should respect the constraints if they're coded correctly. They're not always coded correctly in the sim. But yeah, open descent works, open climb works. So that's fine. Christian, you wonder if they'll ever insert a sandstorm preset. I'm sure someone might do. Right, have we got Brussels Airport coming up somewhere ahead of us? Let's get down, shall we? Elevation of Brussels Airport? I've no idea. If we go down to 3,000 feet, we're about 12. Oh, we're 12 miles away actually. We're 12 miles away from Brussels Airport. Let's roll that speed right back and get a steady fly pass. So if we go down to about 220 knots, let's get some speed brakes out. That'll get us down. If we miss it, we'll just turn around and fly over again. You can see the train stations over there, train lines. I've never been to Brussels, I've only ever been to Charleroi. However you pronounce that. But there is a lot of detail there, isn't there? And I can see. Found when doing a roll to land, does the A320 attempt to do a soft fire for the land? Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does a great landing. Okay. Where's Brussels then? Can't be a million miles away from us. Should see it very, very shortly. Lewis wants to see the aprons of Nice and Rotterdam at night time. Yeah, we'll change the time for you. No problem with that. We can do that. Right, we're down at 3,000 feet. No, we're at 5,500 feet. But I wanted to just get below those clouds so we can have a quick look. I might disengage autopilot in a sec. In fact, that's not a bad idea. So, autopilot is off. I'm just going to take control a little bit. And here's Brussels. Now, this isn't an airport that's been modded or anything like that with this world update. But Brussels itself has, hasn't it? Some frame rate problems there. We seem to have stalled a little bit. There's a little bit of a blurry patch as well just on the nose of the aircraft that you can see. They don't appear to have fixed the icing, as you can see there. Right, so there's frame rates coming in as stuff starts to populate. Perhaps again, if you've got rolling cache, I've turned it off for this, but once rolling cache is in, if you've flown over here a little bit, it might obviously improve things like that, which is nice. But I do want these frame rates to come back a little bit. So here it is. This is Brussels. As I say, I've not been here in real life, so, and it's not one of the modded airports. Remember, guys, it's not a modded airport. It's just a default airport, and clearly there's some computer loading going on here. You can hear I'm losing a little bit of sound, but that's not too bad. I wouldn't like to be landing with a approach like that. We're going to be doing some landings anyway in a little while, so we'll see how that goes. So there's Brussels. If anyone lives near Brussels Airport, did you spot your house? Let's continue en route now to where's next? Luxembourg, I think. to Luxembourg. Right, I'm going to pop the autopilot back on. Cancel that. Okay, let's go back up to 5,000 feet and autopilot engaged. In fact, I'll go open climb. Where's that taking me to? Yeah, that's fine. Thrust climb, open climb, that's great. Back outside. V1 rotate, have I flown to Gibraltar and HD? I don't know if HD has, I presume so, but I have, here in the sim. That's good fun. That looks like an important monument down there. What's that? Anybody know? I haven't been to Brussels for a long time. Probably about 7 years. And we went for the Christmas markets, and that's where I discovered hot chocolate and amaretto. What a great day that was. So Dabney, you've turned down all the graphics settings, and you still get some problems like that. Yeah. I think, particularly as this is the first time I actually expected the computer to be handling this a little worse. The real test is going to be in a little while when we get to Charles de Gaulle. When we get to Charles de Gaulle, I think that's going to really test it. And I don't just plan to fly over. I'm actually going to land at Charles de Gaulle and see how that works. But you know, I normally do. Obviously, real world flights, we spend a lot of time in the flight deck. I'm really enjoying this. You can see the appeal now of why people fly the simulator with GA aircraft. I mean, how wonderful does it look? Christian, I did think about that, activating the points of interest for the flight. In fact, should we do that? I don't mind doing that. Let's just quickly hit escape. Is it on the assistance page? You know, I can't remember where the points of interests are. Assistance, navigation aids, is it on there? Oh, point of interest mark. Well, tell you what, let's put on the points of interest and let's put on the city markers as well, shall we? Let's turn those on. I'm not bothered about the airport markers. Apply and save. Go back and resume, and we'll see if anything pops up. Do you have to be at a certain level for those to actually activate though? I mean, we're obviously flying, we're not exactly flying a Cessna here, are we? But the fact is that I'm looking, obviously flying over terrain here, what looks like some nice outfield towns, few villages and things, and it was that approach we did into Rennes the other day. On the west coast of the western side of France, and you're looking at it as you're flying in, you think, the scenery there is unbelievable, and the roads, the buildings, the houses, someone actually probably lives there in real life, emulated here in the simulator, but they're there in real life. I mean, that is amazing. V1 rotate, yeah, I don't know why it comes out like that, but it looks impressive, doesn't it? It's obviously the GTX 1660 and 16 gig of RAM. But yeah, every house down here, all the farms. I mean, I bet if we got Google, what would be kind of cool would be the VFR map up here. I mean, it would probably take extra processing power to load and things like that. But if you had satellite imagery on here, and then as you're flying over it, you could see just how realistic it's been rendered in the simulator. That'd be kind of nice. But now we're in a completely rural landscape, and it's stunning. I don't think I could get bored of just exploring the Earth like this. And I truly believe that Microsoft Azobo and Microsoft Flight Simulator are responsible for the price of graphics cards at the moment. So, still not got any points of interest markers. Never mind. I'm sure we'll find something interesting soon. What's that? Is it just me, or does there appear to be a sort of contrail on the ground just there? That is, isn't it? As the satellites passed over, there's an aircraft there. Look at that. There's an aircraft, and there's the contrail from it that's not been removed by the AI. I've never seen that before. How long did that contrail extend for? That's amazing. You saw it here first, guys. Contrails at 0 feet. That's great. That's not going to make the points of interest markers, is it? So heading now to Luxembourg for our second airport, or third if you include Rotterdam. And today you may switch back to GA to check out all the beautiful spots. Yeah, I don't blame you. I can certainly understand the appeal of that. So just to speed up our flight a little bit. Oh, I'd actually set the speed down quite low as well, hadn't I? Do you know what? Let's break a few speed limits. Let's go 270 knots. That's okay. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. You see the wind turbines and the actual wind turbines then with the satellite image. It doesn't even bother me. It really doesn't. When you've got this level of detail, who cares? I mean, that's some serious nitpicking, isn't it? 320 knots and make some noise. Yeah, okay. We'll not overspeed at that. Watch those engines spool up now. So again, I have no idea where this is, but it looks nice. You could use Microsoft Flight Simulator to plan where you're going to retire, couldn't you? Just check out places before you go there. With regards to overclocking stuff, one, I wouldn't have a clue how to do it, and two, I strongly believe that doing stuff like that, particularly if you're inexperienced like me, you're just asking for trouble, and maybe the cause of a lot of crash to desktops in the game, things like that. HD, that's a really good question. What's the fuel like? Oh, we've still got 7 tons. We're good. What we're burning, about 1200 an hour. That's per engine, of course. I think SimBrief actually gave me a flight plan of about 30,000 feet, which we're obviously not adhering to. You wouldn't see much at that altitude. Yeah, so Christian, we can check the EFB map as well, because the only thing I found with the EFB map, apart from the fact that my aircraft is now flashing faster than the strobe lights, is that we can't, it doesn't stay there, does it? So it sort of like jumps, the map jumps around a little bit. There we go. Can we see where we are? Can't even read those. Oh, hang on. We're at, we're about to fly over a place called, what is that, Poncia? Is that right? Poncia. Let's have a look. What's Poncia look like? I don't know how quickly the EFB map updates, to be honest with you. If this is it, there doesn't look to be too much there. Okay, good evening, my friend. The solution for my crash to desktop that I was getting, oh, I hate to say it, it was the custom Easyjetsimpilot livery, which is now why we're not flying that at the moment. Metric B, you tried to start a flight at the gate in Nice and your frame rates disappeared. Yeah, well, that's where we're headed, so we're going to see exactly what's happening. Ooh, blurries. Look at that, blurries. I've not had blurries since flying in FSX. Is this sort of like a is this a Luxembourg military compound that we're not allowed to see? Everywhere else around it is spot on, isn't it? So what are they doing down there? HD says it's a prison. Just looking at the terrain as well, look. No longer flat. Now we've left the Netherlands behind. So Christian, our beloved livery painter for the channel, have you got any thoughts as to why the liveries no longer work? Don't know what it is. I'll be honest with you. As you all know, you now need to have A320NX fly-by-wire specific liveries for your aircraft. No longer can you just use the ones for the default Airbus A320, which is fine. And plenty have now been made for the A320NX and are available on sites like flightsim.to, which is where this livery I'm flying today came from. Now, the fly-by-wire guys, as part of their new installer, which is undergoing testing at the moment, are including a livery converter in it, which I was using perfectly well up until this update, and that was the cause of my crash to desktop problems. Any liveries I used with the fly-by-wire converter, which is not yet released, by the way, so don't worry if you've not seen that. It's still in testing. But any liveries I converted using the fly-by-wire converter was causing the crash to desktop. So not sure why. Right, so Luxembourg is dead ahead. As is the blue sky. Oh, I'm glad the weather's nice. Just nice enough that I can use real world weather, but I can obviously still see the sights. That said, I've no idea what the weather's like in France. If anyone wants to grab me a Métard for Charles de Gaulle and Nice, that'd be lovely. So Nick, you've got the normal livery installed and it's not crashed to desktop for you. Oh, that's interesting, Nick. On the A320NX experimental version. Oh, that's really strange. Well, now I'm not sure. Right, so how far are we away from Luxembourg? We are 30 miles. 30 miles from Luxembourg. Janice, though, it must have been amazing when you pulled out a keyboard and pressed Control E. If only starting an engine was that easy in real life. So Fernand, what we got in Nice then? 32086, broken 5000. Oh, that sounds lovely. That sounds lovely. Christian, I couldn't even get mine to load the simulator. The simulator crashed out on the splash screen. So don't know. I might have to use Nick's method and convert it manually. So Air Trooper, when am I now? I'm about 30, or a bit less now. I'm probably about 20-25 miles to the north of Luxembourg. So I'm coming into Luxembourg, another area which has benefited from the update today. What's this river called? That looks like a nice windy river, doesn't it? Someone's got to be sat there on in the chat, watching the stream with Google Maps on their phone or tablet next to the stream, just seeing how things are. But that looks nice. Is this the European equivalent of the Amazon? Smaller, but just as bendy. Very neat. Very neat. JJ, you thought I'd retire to God's own county, Yorkshire. Well, I'm already there, in case you couldn't tell. Jacob Tyler, so we're discussing CPUs. I've actually got a Ryzen 5 3600, which obviously not the best processor on the market, but as you can see, it's doing the job. And at the moment, I'll just tell you my setup at the moment then. So Nightbot, for the actual specs, you've already seen those perhaps earlier in the stream, but I'm sure Digital can call the Nightbot up again. And at the moment, the PC is running obviously the simulator. It's running it's running Streamlabs for the stream. I've also got Navigraph charts open. I've got an Explorer browser open, and I've also got the FlyLive Studio open as well. So this computer is doing a hell of a lot, and with remarkable results. I am liking the elevation data as well. Land is most certainly not flat. JJ, if I'm down the road from you, whereabouts in? I mean, obviously you don't give an exact location, but I'm in South Yorkshire. Not too far from junction 36 of the M1. Right, Mr. Airplane, where are you going? You're making that turn a little bit too early for me, so just disconnect that autopilot. As I want to just see Luxembourg Airport, which is presumably straight in front of us. There it is. Oh look, we have some points of interest. Let's go down. And as I do that, I'm going to roll the speed back as well. Oh, back. Oh yeah, I can't descend that quickly. Let's get some speed brakes out. That'll help. Okay, so there's the airport, as you can see, and then the Sports Centre, Museum of Modern Art. What else we got? We've got the pins, we're not just getting any information about them. But again, I bet this looks pretty decent if you're in a much slower aircraft. The Ram Plateau. There's a bridge called something. Oh, there you go, the Adolphe Bridge. The Adolphe Bridge. And there's Luxembourg straight behind us. We better pull up, hadn't we? Otherwise we're probably going to overspeed and cut cut the tour short. Right, okay, so our next stop then is Charles de Gaulle, which is a little way away. Let's get back in the flight deck. How far away from Paris? Okay, so we've got about 140 odd miles to go to Paris. So in that case, let's get to a decent speed. Autopilot on, flight level 200, and let's rock it up, shall we? Okay, we're going to actually land in Paris, so I don't mind that we've got a bit of time to plan this landing. That's fine. Tell you what, flying over this region now in the simulator, when we're doing our proper flights, these window views are going to look beautiful, aren't they? Air Trooper, yeah, we just frightened the life out of everyone at the airport. Well, that and the rest of the residents of Luxembourg. Never mind. Delta Snake, yeah, Express VFR, nothing wrong with that. Mike, have I tried the landing challenge at Madeira? You find it hard to control the aircraft, especially as you close in on the runway. Well, strangely enough, I haven't done the specific challenge, but I have landed at Madeira in the simulator 2 or 3 times actually. But you are right, it's that's another airport that's fun. Okay, so thank you, Ferran. Let's have a look. I'm going to pop that information to the performance page. Why are we not climbing? What have I not done? That's interesting. Tell you what, let's go up and climb, shall we? Will that work? There we go. Thrust climb, open climb. Right, enter destination data, accept. I'm entering in. In fact, that's not going to work, is it? Because I'm not actually finishing off at Charles de Gaulle. It's going to be calculating it at runway 04. So that's not going to work. Never mind, we'll just set our own landing rate. In that case, Charles de Gaulle, let's see, 040 at 5. Oh, we'll land with a slight tailwind then, that's fine. Let's get Navigraph on. No, HD, managed climb didn't want to work there. I was wondering if it was something I'd done, but I couldn't see any particular reason why that wasn't going to work. We'll keep those de-icers on for now. Right, Charles de Gaulle, pick a runway. Ignore my flight routing here because I've obviously just gone direct from airport to airport for this. Right, so Lima Fox, Papa Golf. Let's hit search. Right, which airport shall we take? Which runway shall we take, rather? Right, okay, if we take, we'll take the nice long one. I actually have no local knowledge of this. Let's take, I'll tell you what, we'll take 26 right. We'll take 26 right. And then, just because it's closer to a bit more of the detail of the airport. Now this is already custom built airport and has been for a while, but I want to try and test the frame rates out. So I want to land near the scenery intense side of the airport. So we're going to try to take 26 right. ILS. We'll just vector ourselves in 111.95. That's what I was wanting. 4,000 feet. 4,000 feet, 111.95. Let's pop that in. RadNav page 111.95. There we go. And just to give us a little help with distance, we can put the Paris Saint-Germain. Is it Paris Saint-Germain? That can't be right. I've just made that up. We'll put the Papa Golf Sierra in there. Papa Golf Sierra. 116 miles away, that's what we wanted. Check the frequency is correct, 117.05, yes it is. And basically from this direction we can almost just track that all the way in. 115 miles away. Lovely. Christian, you had about 15 frames on the approach. Oh, that could be fun. V1 landed without flaps. Well, I don't want to do a touch and go, I do actually want to land. So we'll do that. But then, yeah, Christian, so after everything loaded, it came back up. That's fine. We'll see what we get when we get there. Okay, so obviously much higher now. We'll get that anti-ice off. Now, I made a fatal mistake when planning this flight. I didn't put any beers in the fridge. So, that's terrible. I might just nip back to the galley now and put one in the freezer. Don't drink and fly, boys and girls. In real life, in the simulator, we can do as we wish. Willie, good evening, sir. How's my favourite Krusty the Clown impersonator? Okay, so I'm just going to chuck a beer in the freezer. I will then collect it in Paris and drink it on the way to Nice. That sounds like a plan. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. we're back. So, nice to know that that beer will be waiting for me in Paris. So, have you all managed to update then? Those of you that have attempted the update, has it all worked? Has it all gone quite nicely? And for those of you that haven't updated, have you started? How long has it taken you? I don't have the world's fastest internet connection, as many of you know, and it took me probably start to finish, of course, with downloading the 5 gig scenery update as well afterwards. It probably took about 3 hours. And then I probably spent a good hour troubleshooting this crash to desktop that I was having. So, HD, good night, my friend. I'm sure I'll speak to you tomorrow at some point. So, thanks for your help today. I promise not to wreck this aircraft in the interest of entertainment. Good night, mate. So Digital, what issue were you having? Jacob, thanks for stopping by, my friend. See you very soon. Mark, you're still waiting for the download. 3 hours and you're 30% down. Oh wow, Mark, I thought I had a bad internet connection. How what are you downloading at, my friend? Dickens FS took you half an hour. That's great. V1 Rotate, haven't updated yet, using me as the guinea pig. That's what I'm here for. And what are you thinking of it so far then, V1? Will it convince you to... Mind you, it doesn't matter if it convinces you or not, does it? You're going to have to update, otherwise you can't fly. You can't fly, which is frustrating. For many. Jennifer, you're going to update in the morning. Hoping for a midday flight. Good luck. Air Trooper, you're on 21.99. That's pretty much there, then, isn't it? From what I remember. What else we got? Oh, Digital, you had a conflict with the shared cockpit mod. Yeah, shame that that's broken that, hasn't it? That's not good. Combrig, you rolled back from the 46589 drivers and you gained 1620 frame rates. Do you know what? I've actually not updated my NVIDIA drivers for probably much longer than I should have. So I've not done that. Nick, you've just loaded in the normal livery, so not the Easter one. Yeah, that's fine. At low, we got the pick in Discord. Oh, check that out. Oh, yeah, Nick, if you wouldn't mind, and I'll test it out, see if that works. So I'm thinking at the moment there's a problem with the converter that FlyByWire have built. Following this new update, it worked fine before it. So another reason why the converter is still in testing stages at the moment. Willie, so the shared cockpit mod is exactly as it sounds. You and a friend can actually fly between you, which is why if HD got a PC, we could have some real fun. Late night for you, Air Trooper. Oh, you're an hour ahead of me. Well done for being up this late. I've absolutely no idea, Willie, who makes that, I'm afraid. Poseidon63, anyone know if they've changed the location of the community folder? Not to my knowledge. I used it, obviously, to get the livery in and update the FlyByWire mod. So, we need to stop calling it a FlyByWire mod. It's a FlyByWire aircraft now, isn't it? It's no longer a mod. Now, what do I think of the update? I think it's great. We're flying high at the moment. We're doing a bit of a long flight now from Luxembourg into Paris, but we'll be heading down in a bit, and you'll be able to check out that scenery for yourself. So what time is it here now? It's 10 to midnight here in the UK. Wow, that's late. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm having fun, and I like to show this new update off for you guys. Well, I think it does. I think it works with every aircraft. I've never used it, but I believe it does. Right, how far are we away from Charles de Gaulle? Can't be that far. 65 miles. 65 miles. Alright, let's start a nice steady descent. As Christian says, we want to get there slowly. There's a lot of scenery to load. So let's roll back the speed and we'll start making our way down to that platform altitude, because we're going to stop here in Paris. Let's get some speed brakes down, pull that, get that speed back to 260 knots, and then the aircraft will start to descend. Nick, is RAR okay? If that's easy for you, Nick, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'll take RAR or zip. Combrig, you were having an early night with Olga the Trolley Girl, but this popped up in the notifications. Oh, I'm glad you've got your priorities straight. Air Trooper 37, you wonder how many more updates there can be, because it can be annoying. Well, you know what, I don't mind the updates, it's when they don't work that I have a problem. But no, so far, as long as the updates work, it's really nice. And we've already seen, haven't we? We've so far flown from Rotterdam, which, wow, that airport looked great. And then just the detail of the scenery that I'm seeing underneath as we're flying is just beautiful. Is that another contrail? That's one thing we did spot. If you've just joined us late in the stream, we saw an aircraft contrail. That might be another one, you know. Aircraft contrails are it's a new game we can play on long haul Mondays, on mileage Mondays. Spot the contrails on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to land, we'll land in Paris, then we'll get lined back up on the runway for takeoff, and then I'm going to set the, just set the same to nighttime, and we'll have a look at some nighttime views. Okay, you're off, of course, 1 AM, wow, thank you for staying up so late, and I'm sure I'll speak to you tomorrow. Great stuff. We will have a normal stream tomorrow, guys. Normal stream tomorrow. Oh, Nick, that's wonderful. I shall check that out, my friend. Thank you for that. Right, do we still need spoilers out? Let's have a quick look. Oh, we're getting down okay. Probably pull those back. Willie, you downloaded the update early today. Mongolia looks amazing. Ah, fantastic. Stephen on Facebook, mate, if you want to get on our Discord server, I'm going to have to post that link to Facebook. It's actually on the Facebook profile page as well, so if you want to find that, that should work for you. V1 Rotate, what's a normal stream? Right, a normal stream is where we spend an hour on the ground getting the aircraft prepped, doing everything correctly, checking the charts, talking with VATSIM air traffic control, etc, etc, and basically flying as we as pilots do in the real world. So yeah, that's a normal stream. I'm loving the fact that there's contrails on the ground. Has anyone seen that before today, or is that new? Adam Simporium, is the new Nice better or worse than the Dimmersink one? Well, we'll find out soon when we get there. Right, how are we doing with our approach into Paris? 40 miles out. And we probably need to start slowing down a little bit as well for that. but we're on a decent profile for that. Okay, let's roll back that speed a little bit more. Some more speed brakes. I'm not going to enter the approach phase or anything daft like that. Oh, in fact, can we? Might be able to enter the approach phase actually. Yeah, because then when we set toga, that should revert. If all works well. So we do need to get down, as I'm going to make a straight in approach. We want to get below the clouds. What are we? We're about 32 miles away. Keep those spoilers out. And performance, activate approach phase. There we go. I'm not entering any of the destination data. We'll do that for Nice. This is just a... Hey up, where are we going? Come back. We're not going to Nice just yet, aeroplane. I want to see Paris. Mahajo says contrails existed since the previous updates, not today. Ah, no, you may be confusing things. I'm talking about contrails on the ground. We'll have to see if we can spot another one. But yeah, we've got contrails on the ground at the moment, which to my knowledge is brand new. What's the runway designation here at Charles de Gaulle? Is it 26? Yeah, we're pretty much coming straight in then, aren't we? Get through this cloud layer. Let's put some de-ice on. Let's do things semi-seriously. Get through the cloud layer and landing system. Turn that on as well. That might be a bit too high. We're still 27 miles away as well, remember. Don't we fly over Disneyland? Isn't Disneyland somewhere to the east of Charles de Gaulle? No points of interest showing yet. I'm probably far too high for those points of interest to show up, in all honesty. Okay, so... Oh, there we go. There's our localizer coming in. So let's just turn left to intercept that. 23 miles away. And 230 knots. So shouldn't be too far away from intercepting that actually now. What are we? 22 miles away. And let me just turn that a little bit more. Just intercept that a little bit sooner. If we popped in... do you know what? I don't know if we can do an auto land here. Well, we can in real life, but because I'm not configuring the performance page, it may not let me. I might not do an auto land. We'll leave autopilot on as late as we dare, just so we can enjoy the scenery. Okay, so as soon as I see that localizer moving, we'll hop outside the aircraft once I've got that turned on. In fact, we're not a million miles away now, so I should be able to go lock blue. There we go, that's armed. 17 miles out, and we're going to intercept the glide slope at around 11 miles. 11 miles. So, tell you what we can do. I've now got that showing, so I can see what's happening. Let's have a look outside, shall we? 17 miles out. What on earth is Essex Disneyland? I've just come back. Just come back and started reading in the chat. Essex Disneyland. Oh, there we go. Right, so we've got Lockstar. Aircraft's now going to... oh, spoilers. Aircraft's now going to start picking up that localizer. Glide slope is also active. Let me just hop back in there and arm the approach. There we go. Glide slope blue, Cat 3 single. That'll do. And so let's go. Managed. And then we want to get some flaps out. So let's go flaps 1. Glide slope captured. We should be flaps 2 by now. My bad. Never mind. Maha, this is the experimental version, my friend. We'll just get down past 200 feet, throw flaps 2 out, and then we'll have a look outside. There we go. Flaps 2. Right, so it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just going to leave those spoilers out just to get me down to slowing down. Right. Obviously not too much to the west of, to the east of Charles de Gaulle. Paris is, of course, straight ahead. So we're going to do a night. Should we do a nighttime departure or a dusk departure? So, bracing for that frame drop. Let's see, shall we? Okay, landing gear down. And flaps 3. We're about 7.5 miles away at the moment. Jacob, you've just joined the Discord. Great stuff. You'll find it's a very welcoming community. Six and a half miles out, we're now fully configured. Still waiting for this frame rate drop. It's not doing too bad at the moment, is it? Although at the moment I'm seeing lots of fields. Although there's a nice village. I could live there. Close enough to the airport to go on holiday. Straight underneath the flight path for spotting with my son. And yeah, very nice. Has anyone seen Disneyland in the simulator? Just going back to that. Okay, Christian, I'm waiting for my frame rate drop. Tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to close down the VFR map though. That's another window that doesn't need to be open. So here it comes. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm starting to see the stutters, which I'm sure you guys can see as well. That's not so much a stutter, that's a picture. I need to get back in the aircraft. There we go. And oh, good lord, what's happening here? Well, there's a sound you don't want to hear. Oh, this isn't good, boys and girls. Maybe we'll avoid Paris for a while, shall we? Let's hand fly this in. Hopefully, hand fly this in. Come on, I need those frame rates to come back before we touch down. Maybe we should have just flown over Paris rather than attempted to land here. Oh, good lord, this is going to be bad, isn't it? I'm never going to land this. Ugh! We're bouncing. 500, 300, 600, 500, 300, 600. Crashed. Stall. Think we'll get down. I'm still trying to track that. I'm still worried about tracking the centre line. Maybe we should just concentrate on tracking the airport. Oh, come on, get that nose up. If we land under displaced threshold, never mind. Oh, no, we're frozen again. Well, I'm just going to go and get that beer from the freezer until the... Oh, stall. This is insane. Well, tell you what. Oh, 200. Oh my word. Sink rate? You're having fun, guys. You're enjoying this. I'm just going to stall it on the runway in a minute. 100. I think we may have to abandon this landing, guys. That's not happening. I can't possibly get this down. We'll just do a nice casual flyby, shall we? 100. Ugh. Goodness me. Okay. So, take off, go around thrust. 40. Oh, that was close. And flaps 3. Oh, I'm not sure we're going to make it. I can't control this. Oh, I think we bounced. Retard. Retard? Shut up. Retard. Oh. Retard. I've got the side stick pulled up here. Let's get a positive rate of climb, please, and then get that gear up. FMA showing go around track. I don't believe it. Okay, well, it should be a nice 1 hour 45 minute flight, but we're spending 30 minutes of it over the runway at Charles de Gaulle. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I'm just going to close my eyes and hope for the best, because it's not going to make any difference, is it? I did want to give you a nice scenic landing into Paris. and then a nice nighttime display as we fly out, but I'm not so sure that's happening. Oh, do you know what? I actually landed the CRJ better than this. I can't even control the aircraft's pitch. It's that bad. I think the frame rates may be coming back. Frame rates are coming back. Wow. Okay, well there's an airport I'm probably going to avoid on VATSIM for a while. Can you imagine coming in? I think we need to go to VATSIM. We need to get on VATSIM and just sign up as an observer on the ramp somewhere in a Cessna. And just watch everyone come and land at Charles de Gaulle on VATSIM for the first time, if they haven't experienced that. That would be amazing. All right. Let's we're climbing, right? Let's set climb thrust. And with that, I'm going to engage autopilot and let that worry about things. Let's give it a decent climb level, shall we? Oh, I can't even focus on where I want to zoom in and out of. The frames have dropped that bad. Oh, guys, if you enjoyed that, do me a favour, hit the like stream. Oh, aircraft not liking it, autopilot not liking the frame rates. It can't suffer it. It's suffering. I need to disengage autopilot. I need to hand fly this out of here. Okay, we need to get out of Paris. I'm so glad I've got a beer waiting for me in the freezer. It's taking me so long just to turn the dials here. Right, where are we? Where are we meant to be going? Greedy man, night time for you. Good night. Hope you've enjoyed the roller coaster ride. I'm presuming, is this meant to be turbulence? That's very, 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 very turbulent. Look at the speed at which these dials are turning. Oh, a bit more turbulence. Oh look, a point of interest marker's just popped up as well. That's that's of no use to me whatsoever. I'd quite like to be able to get my aircraft back on track too. Can we go to Nice? Are we still over Charles de Gaulle? No, we can't be. That's got to be Orly. I thought we were still over Charles de Gaulle. Like, no chance. Okay, let's pull that heading bug. That'll take 5 minutes. And let's see if we can head south, shall we? I'd love to look outside, guys, but I think the computer would blow up. So, we now want to go direct to Tippik as it is showing. But I need to get out of Paris. Can we turn the landing system off? That's the landing system off. Oh, let's turn the first officer's displays off. Why are they still on? I thought we'd turned those off back in Rotterdam. Okay, so that might help a fraction. Let's see. Okay, so go around flight plan. We want to go direct now to Nizar. Select that. Engage. Did that engage? I have no idea because I can't look up. Oh, I'm looking at my own arse. Oh. Right, there we go. A track is set. I want to engage it. If we can, let's press that button. Oh, good lord. We're going to stall. Okay, that's engaged. Let's put on autopilot 1 and see if it does a better job on its own without me. Christian, that's not a bad idea, getting rid of the clouds. That might work. Where on earth is it turning us to? We want to be heading south, not north. That's interesting. But look at all these beautiful points of interest that we've got down there. Oh look, I can see the Stade de France. How wonderful. The aircraft's turning in the wrong direction, but at least now you're actually getting a decent view. Willie, I think you are right. The 16 gig of RAM is obviously playing a factor here. It is trying to do all the streaming stuff as well. So is the aircraft now going to bank over to the left? I'm just looking at the VFR map here. We've got it keyed into where the aircraft needs to go, but it's well, it's not doing it, is it? Oh, look at all those points of interest, which I'm sure are great, but there they are. Well, I'd love to go down and show you, but perhaps that's something best saved for another day in a oh, I don't know, a Jeep. Do you know what? Let's let's flying heading mode, shall we, for a little while? Oh, what do we want? We want to fly south. We want to fly about heading 170. So let's get that turned around, and we'll let the autopilot until we can get out of this frame rate issue. Willie, no, this is a normal hard drive as well. It's not SSD. So again, oh, there you go, the Arc de Triomphe. That's something. How many of us have stood under there and had a photo? Is that then the Champs-Élysées that comes down from that? Is that right? It's been a while since I've been in Paris. The Grand Palais. Dickens FS, get that beer. Yeah, can't come soon enough. Oh, look, the Invalid. That was nearly all of us. I thought we rescued it kind of well coming out of Charles de Gaulle. HD will split aside tomorrow when he sees the when he sees the replay of that. So I'll be very interested to see what we get when we get to Nice. So those guys on here that are far more computer literate than I am, I hear mixed reports about SSDs. Yes, it helps with loading times, etc, etc, etc. But with the actual simulator running during the flight, how much of an improvement does it make for that? Now normally I have a 2 GB rolling cache, because obviously the computer is doing a hell of a lot of work. It's streaming away, it's got charts open, it's obviously got the simulator itself, so I normally have 200 gig of rolling cache. I've actually turned that off for this, because otherwise I would have had to re-download 200 gigabytes of data, which I will probably leave it doing overnight, to be honest, and then it'll be ready for the morning. Digital, that'd be great if you try it tomorrow and see what happens. We're still struggling with frame rates though, even now, aren't we? As we're heading out of Paris. We're probably not that far out of Paris, to be fair. But as you can see, panning around the flight, and I'm also in the A320NX, which is frame rate hungry. I think we can disarm those ground spoilers. I don't think we need those at the moment. Oh good lord. Well, that's not normal. Have we still got selected? Oh, well, that's not right. Oh, we're still targeting green dot. Why are we still targeting green dot? We shouldn't be in approach mode. We went toga. Approach phase. Oh, we're not going to stay in approach mode all the way to Nice, are we? I hope not. Right, in that case, if that's what it's going to do, let me manually set the speed. It's such a good job we haven't got self-loading cargo passengers on board, isn't it? Right, and let's set open climb, autopilot engaged, thrust climb, autopilot, flight level 250, let's go. Combrig, if I haven't updated the NVIDIA drivers for a while, you may not be taking advantage of its streaming encoders, which are updated regularly. Ah, that's probably a very good point. The thing that scares me, and I'm not computer literate, but stuff like that is all a little bit foreign to me. It's which one do you update to? Because yeah, lots of people also saying, yeah, well, actually, it might be the latest one might not be the best, etc., etc. So it's knowing which one is preferred, is the best. That climb thrust could do a little bit higher. So Christian, cache data stored on the drive, yeah, so obviously an SSD would help with that. Willie, you've got the same CPU and GPU as me, but you have an SSD and 32. You did a test stream last week and the PC didn't even blink. Yeah, that's fine. Well, you know, normally from the flights that we've and all the streams we've done, I've never normally had a problem. However, I don't think I've ever come into Charles de Gaulle. Oh, I might have done it once. I may have done it once. Might not be doing it again for a while. Oh, the landing gear's down. That's a good spot. Should we get that up? I'd pressed that button. Clearly, during the massive frame rate drops, it just didn't register, and I'd not even noticed. I've pressed the spoilers button as well. I told you we could disarm the spoilers, and they're still armed. Let's try that again. There we go. Nick Burrows is channeling his inner HD. Oh well, now we're climbing a little easier, aren't we? Right, what I'd really like to do is actually get back on track to towards Nice. So, see what we're doing. How many Nices are in there? Let's go direct to Tippik if we can. Right, so Tippik is showing. There's the green line. Let's go nav, and will it bank us left towards Tippik? There we go, 300 odd mile away. Yeah, guys. So everyone else, and you can test that tomorrow. You can fly on into Charles de Gaulle, and let me know how you get on. That would be great. Let's select a decent cruise then for this. So let's select fly level 350 and back to manage mode. In fact, manage mode is targeting 214 knots, so screw that. Can we select a normal Mach speed for our cruise? That'll do, 0.78. Oh, well, I think autopilot is now behaving itself. Let's get the anti-ice off. Don't need that. We need the anti-fire. The good news, boys and girls, is we lived to tell the tale, did we not? Perhaps we also need to look at playing with some settings when going into areas like that. Steve, you're flying into Charles de Gaulle now, so let me know. Oh, that sounds like a plan. Stephen Woods on Twitch. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. And Poseidon63 is also testing Charles de Gaulle as well. Oh, let me know. The autopilot as well starts to go completely crazy when you have low frame rates. It just can't control it. And something similar used to happen on FSX with the Aerosoft A320. So yeah, it's a frame rate issue because of the amount of calculations. The amount of calculations the autopilot is doing is sort of thinking ahead of the scenery loading, and it plays itself off against each other, which is why you end up oscillating up down up down up down. Oh, V1 Rotate Club, you just read my mind. I definitely think it's time for a beer. Oh, we're overspeeding. Oh, shucks. Oop. I set that max speed too high for the altitude that we were at. We need to actually climb to that altitude before we can fly that fast. There we go. Christian, the frames were so low because of the badly optimized livery. Brian, you think you can trick Magoo to get you out of approach mode by resetting the cruise altitude? Oh, that's not a bad idea. Well, let's just select a sensible speed. There we go. Thrust climb up and climb. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look and go to our init and select. So let's select 350 then. See what happens. And if we now select a manage speed, what happens? Oh no, it's still wanting to still wanting to target 213 knots. That's no good. It'll take us forever to get to Nice. Oh, it's going to be annoying if we get to Nice and we can't actually land there. Callum 10 and 27 on Twitch as well. Thank you very much, sir. Right, I think I'm safe to go and grab that beer. Frame rate seems to have recovered. Now we're out of Paris. Oh boy. Well, there's a city that's off limits for the time being. All looks rather serene and calm now, doesn't it, following that incident? I'll be very, very excited to hear how you guys get on. Oh, Nick's, thank you very much. So Nick's donated his £4. You're very, very kind, Nick. And once again, thank you for your continued support to the channel. I hope that's a cup of beer. Poseidon, you're going to fly over to Gaulle before making the approach. That's actually not a bad idea. Hopefully everything should load into the sim then before you actually begin your approach. That's a good idea. Lewis, you're heading off to bed. It's 1:30 in the morning. midnight in the morning. Yes, same here. Thanks for the stream today. And will there be a stream tomorrow? Yes, there will, Lewis. Not going anywhere near Paris, but there will be a stream tomorrow. Yes. With hopefully a much better landing attempt than that in Charles de Gaulle. Steve, where can you post the results of the of your Charles de Gaulle adventure? Pop it in the Discord, my friend. If you're not already a member of our Discord server, click the link, join that, and it'd be great to have you in there, and everyone else as well. There's a great community on there. Myself, of course, also in there. Will, you're going to try the flight tomorrow? You're going to call me at 7 AM? No worries. Kids will be up in 3 hours' time anyway, so don't worry about that. I'll be awake. Scott, greetings from Arizona, USA. Yeah, that's one of the great things I get about doing these late streams. Whilst it's an ungodly hour here, it's great for our American followers to be able to catch a live stream. So, I just jumped back into the flight deck. How far are we away? Interestingly enough, do you know what? We have lost 12 minutes of time. I set this to 12 hours behind Zulu time. No, that can't be right. Must have been 11 hours. Must have been 11 hours. Yeah, must have been 11 hours behind, and we've lost time with those frame rates. That was terrible. But never mind. So I'm definitely going to go and grab that beer in a moment. And digital, thank you very, very much, my friend, for your continued support and kind donation. Digital says this is to help pay for the dry cleaning to get the brown stain out of your seat after that landing attempt. Do you know what? Just buy some new trousers. there's even if you get that stain cleaned, you'll know it'll always have been there. Oh, thank you very much, Diddle. You're so kind. So Digital, the stream tomorrow time-wise, I'm looking at it will probably be sort of a midday, early afternoon stream. Not a morning stream. Unfortunately, I have to work keeps getting in the way now, which is really annoying. But yeah, no early morning stream tomorrow, so no alarms need to be set. enjoy your lions. So Donovan Ross on Facebook, hello, looking on from Jamaica, and Stephen Bundy is in Oz on Twitch. Matt, can I do a tutorial on how to make a SimBrief A320neo profile? Do you know what, Matt? I can go on better than that. If you go on to join our Discord server, then you can download it. It's on our Discord server. You will find that in the pilot's briefing room, there is one there for you to be able to download. So hopefully that will help you out. Right, now we're at a decent altitude. We can increase that cruise speed to Mach 7.8. And all is well. And Lewis, you just followed on Facebook as well. Lewis Ryan, there you are on Facebook. Thank you very much for following on Facebook. We're multi-platforming this evening. We've got Twitch, we've got Facebook, and of course we have YouTube. And Reese Harrison also on Facebook as well. Thank you very much for the follow. Willie, I was thinking more the Atlantic Ocean. Although that has waves, doesn't it? So maybe not. Yeah, that is by far the worst frame rates I have ever suffered here in the simulator. Andrew, thank you for the like on Facebook as well. Thank you. So, with 250 miles to go, we should be on the ground in Nice in around 30 minutes. So that gives me time to... We'll do this arrival briefing properly. Yeah, so stick around. We'll do the arrival briefing properly. We'll land in Nice, hopefully, properly. And make a nice ILS approach. I'm just going to go and grab that beer that we've been talking about. I am in need of that. And then I'll come back. She'll then do our arrival briefing. So, catch you in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of all of you, I'm sure you'd like to show your support for the sponsor of today's flight. So please hit that like button, like the stream, and show your support for our sponsors today, which have just become Budweiser. So yes, Lewis, I actually was getting a beer. I don't mind drinking and flying when we're not doing things by the book. And it is 20 to 1 in the morning. So has anyone tried Nice yet? Has anyone actually flown to Nice since the update? See what that's looking like. I'll tell you one of the things that I have just remembered while I was getting a drink. We've obviously got the points of interest markers turned on, so that's something that's been thrown in there. We have I've also got static aircraft as well on the ground, so there are more things that have been loaded. Those things aren't normally turned on, of course, for VATSIM, so there is a potential. Lewis, what time will I go to bed? Oh, probably about 2 or 3 hours before the kids get up. Dickens FS, the stream's great, but Paris made you sick. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. So I'm just firing up my Navigraph charts, and we'll have a look at Nice. Oh, Willie, sir, thank you very, very much for your very kind donation, and upgrade Dosh. Yeah, it definitely needs it. So we're going to start putting some of this, obviously, into the PC, and then we can. I think RAM's got to be the next upgrade, guys. RAM. And some WD-40 for the mouse wheel. But thank you, Willie, once again for your continued support to the channel. So let's have a look and see how we're going to do our arrival into Nice. We're doing the ILS to runway 04 left. Let's get inside. It's a little bit quieter, isn't it? So let's get the weather. So this is one landing I'm hoping works correctly. So let's get a weather request for Nice. Send that off. Just checking our progress page. This doesn't work yet, does it? Lima Fox Mike November. No, that's not been merged just yet. So that's a new feature that will be coming. And once that weather request has come through, AOC, weather's received, there we go, get the meta, print that off, and we're going to have a slight tailwind on landing, but it's nothing to worry about, and it's certainly my preferred runway rather than trying to land on runway 22, particularly, is it runway 22? Particularly if the frames get anything like what they were in Paris, because that would be terrible. How much fuel left, Christian? Oh, we've got just over 3.5 tons. Lewis, you keep saying you're going to go, but you're into the stream and love the channel. You don't leave. Well, Lewis, I hope you're not up too early tomorrow. The only thing that's going to get me up early tomorrow is the kids. Unfortunately, there's not too much I can do about that. Right, so we're what's our approach? Our approach is the operational flight plan. Right, so it's the Nizar 7 Romeo. Let's have a look what's happening with that. So the Nizar 7 Romeo. Let's close the VFR map down, shall we? Nizar 7 Romeo. And we just need to pull those charts up. I'm throwing my Paris charts away, they can be burnt. I'm not going to be going there for a while. These are 7 Romeo and runway 04 left as the initial approach. And the ILS. Final approach. So here we go. Starts at Nizar. We want to be below 34,000 feet. Flight level 340. And this brings us down. Let's check these all look correct with regards to what we've got. on our navigation display, shall we? So, have we printed that out? Yes, we have. That's fine. So our flight plan then, let's check. We have got, let's bring the navigation display out, zoom in a little bit, and go to plan mode, and scroll through that. So from typic, which we can see there, we want to be at flight level 120 at typic, that's fine. And from there we've got an initial approach fix of MUS, that's not shown, but then we've got Nice 900, is that right? Oh, there it is. So typic, then we've got Nice 900, 23 miles to go to the threshold, then Lempu, and then from Lempu that is where we pick up the ILS. There we go, at Lempu, and you can also see that just showing there on our navigation chart. So that's actually all coded in quite nicely. We need to pop the ILS frequency in there, 10995. I'm going to do that manually because I don't think that populates on its own. Poseidon, you're just flying over Charles de Gaulle, and you've got a lot of stuttering. That's with 32 megs of RAM. Wow. Just on the final, Pete, you've just done a final approach inbound to Charles de Gaulle 26 right with very little stutter. That's good. Alf Mags, good evening. Yeah, we're up tonight. We're trooping away in the interest of, well, not in the interest of frame rates. If you've already just joined us, rewind to the bit where we attempted to land in Paris. So RadNav page, I'm just going to pop in 109.95, 109.95, there we go. So that's our ILS frequency that we need. We could also pop the Nice, we could pop the VOR that's there on the airfield as well, just for a bit of situational awareness. Alpha Zulu Romeo, there we go. And if we had to do a missed approach, do we need the Nice VOR? No, we don't. So that's fine. Right, so RadNav page is all set up. I'm happy with how that flight plan looks and is coded. That looks to be quite nice. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Yes, so at typic we want to be at flight level 120. Digital, what time is it where you are? It must be like, is it evening where you are? Christian, it's 10 to 2 in the morning. Hope you don't have to be in work early tomorrow. Right, let's come to this performance page. Let's pop the weather in. How can we even pop the weather in? Oh, there we go. So, QNH 1021. Temperature is 11. Wind 330 at 6. I should watch this VAP speed drop in a minute while I pop this in as a slight tailwind. It's showing 132 at the minute. Oh, actually, it's not altered it. Fair enough. Transition altitude at Nice. Does it tell us? So transition level set by air traffic control. Have we got an altitude there that we can use? No. Oh, we've got a transition altitude 5,000 feet. There it is. 5,000 feet. 5000. And Beaky, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind donation there. Really is appreciated, and hope you've enjoyed the flight so far. Obviously not landing in Paris, although from a comedy value point of view, I guess I guess that was kind of amusing. But thank you very much, Peaky, for your support to the channel. Right, let's have a look at our decision barrel reference, which is for a CAT C291. Let's pop that in. There we go. So our approach phase is all now correctly configured. We've got about 180 miles to go. What's the lowest altitude? This is not going to be correct. What's the lowest altitude we can fly on our approach? Just to get down and enjoy a bit of scenery. So, yeah, well, the problem is we've got the Alps in the way. They're very annoying. We could probably get down to... well, if we got down to flight level 200 early enough, that'll be fine. As we've not got the proper, not got a proper flight plan in here, all of these waypoints are actually missing. Our approach starts here at Tippik. But if we get down to flight level 200, we might have some interesting things to see. And as we discovered earlier, the elevation data has been greatly improved. We saw that flying into Luxembourg, didn't we? So, really looking forward to seeing that. Interesting thing that Nice has been chosen as one of the updated handcrafted airports. I mean, it's one that's been used by Microsoft and Azobo as their one of their landing challenges as well. So, I guess the fact that they've chosen that one really shouldn't be too much of a surprise. But there's also just been, and I forget which company has done it, it's a payware version of these has also just been released, hasn't it? Only in the last week or so, I think. So how frustrating for them. But particularly then if you're a customer that bought it last week and suddenly we've got a free one now that we're going to go and check out. But I guess you pay your money and take your chance. Beaky, yeah, you've only been here 30 you've only been here 30 seconds. Oh, you don't know what you've missed. Oh, well, don't worry, we've still got approaching to Nice to come. But I am hoping it'll be a little bit more refined, shall we say, than Paris. If it turns out that approaches like this are going to affect it, and we've flown into handcrafted airports before, and no problems whatsoever. But if it turns out things like that are going to happen, then all we're going to have to do is maybe scale back the settings. Even on a low to mid-end setting, this simulator looks absolutely amazing. So I'm waiting to see how you guys are getting on landing into Paris, Charles de Gaulle, and also what level of scenery you'd got set as well. Obviously we're flying quite high here, but again, I'm certain if we went down we'd have some great scenery. So presumably now Paris is photographic, isn't it? Photorealistic scenery. Oh, Nick, have you just bought the payware version? Ah. We also need to test the new one from Aerosoft as well, don't we, guys? Where's that? Is that in Norway somewhere that's just been released? I forget where that is. I was very impressed at Rotterdam with the ground markings, so that was nice to see. But digital, you're right, the gate numbers would be really nice, and that's just really useful when flying on VATSIM. Really useful. So here come the Alps. And how long before we start our top of descent? How far away are we? Oh, we're still a good 100 miles away. Probably in the next 5 minutes or so we'll start heading down. Christian, where's it? Ah, that's it, Alta, Norway, way up in the north. Oh well. For those of you that don't know, Aerosoft have given me permission to preview any of their titles that they release for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, and that obviously includes both aircraft and scenery, which is really, really generous of them. So big shout out to Aerosoft for that, allowing us to preview things like that here on the channel for you. So looking forward to doing that pretty soon. Here comes the turbulence that we're used to as we start heading over the Alps. Land of the troglodytes. So hopefully, guys, I hope you've all enjoyed the stream so far. Oh, look at that turbulence. We've just got this landing in Nice to go, but we've flown over the Alps many times, and just this picture I'm looking at now, I don't know, maybe it's an optical illusion, or maybe it's sort of like the anti-placebo effect, but I think these do look better. I really do think these look better. Just need to find that nice trade-off between great scenery and great performance. Of course, what interests me is with the Xbox release imminent in the summer, is it? How is that going to handle flying into Nice, into Paris? What's going to happen there? Okay, so digital, is that the most northern, the northernmost part of the mainland? Oh dear. Well, it's going to be cold there, so that's that sounds like fun. As long as we can get A320 in there, we'll go and give it a whirl. Dickens, the ATR 4272 is coming as well, so that should be nice. Tell you what, that window view really does look nice. And we've seen it a few times before on the stream, but looking really, really good at the moment. Xbox melting, yeah. Bit like my hard drive. Actually, you know, strangely enough, normally when I touch the side of the PC, I'm just touching it now. When I touch the side of the PC, it's absolutely boiling hot, and it doesn't feel as hot as normal. Maybe it just decided to give up. Right, we should probably have a look at starting that descent, shouldn't we? So where are we? 72 miles out. Okay, let's head down now to... well, we can actually head down to flight level 120. Let's go open descent. We'll pull that. We'll maintain that speed. So thrust idle, open descent. And down we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We've just began our descent into Nice. We apologise now in advance for a bumpy landing, But at least you should have some lovely scenery whilst being thrown around the cabin to admire. Okay, so on our way down, what was that? QNH 1021. Let's get that set. Pop those constraints on there just to remind me what we need to be at. So what's the platform altitude here? Is it 4,000 feet? So Tipeg we want to be flight level 120, and then from Tipeg it's to Lempu we want to be 4,000 feet at Lempu. And then we'll have a little look around Nice if we get there and actually manage to touch down safely. John Crawford on Facebook. Good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Alex, they've said 2022 for the ATR. Oh, fair enough. By 2022, everyone will hopefully be back doing their normal day job. No one will have time for flight simming anymore. Christian, are you the only one that does a wee sound when starting the descent? I think I did a little wee when we were coming into Charles de Gaulle a bit ago. Okay, we've obviously got terrain as we make this descent, so let's get the terrain radar on as well. Weather we don't need to worry about too much. Ah, digital, that's nice. You're always a little bit disappointed that the flight is coming to an end. So flight level 280, we just need to monitor that rate of descent. And make sure we're on track for flight level 120 by the time we get to Tipeg. We should be there in around 5 minutes. Probably need to increase that rate of descent a little bit, although 3,000 feet per minute, actually that's not too bad. That's okay. So Steve, you just posted the Charles de Gaulle landing on the Discord. I'll be sure to check that out. Willie, your son does a your son does a wee sound, but for a different reason. Reference normal stream. Well, at least he's got a normal stream. Oh, guys, soon in the next 6 months we're gonna have to potty train the triplets. I can't even begin to imagine how that's gonna go. There's gonna be some brownouts. What's really going to be depressing is my lad who's 6. He got it straight away, and by straight away he was potty trained within 24 hours. It was amazing. I'm just not expecting anything quite as good with with the girls. Oh yeah, Alex, did you not know? Oh, I reference them. I talk about them quite a bit on here. Yeah, but our lad, who's 6, he was potty trained in 24 hours. He didn't have an accident, and he just got it. Don't know what it was. He wants to grow up and be a pilot, so I'm guessing that's good. That he can learn to use things, learn to use the big boy toilet in 24 hours. That's pretty decent. Lou, when I think the A380 will be released by Fly-by-Wire, I couldn't give you an answer, I'm afraid. I am a lucky father, Alex. I can't deny that. I am a very lucky father, but with quite a few more grey hairs than when I started. Yeah, JJ, I think the triplets were my punishment. Oh, I love them to bits, but my word, I'm going grey. Willie, yeah, that does sound like a firing squad, doesn't it? I'm guessing I'd quite happily stand in front. I'd quite happily stand in front of one. Right, what are we? 22 miles away. We just need to increase that rate of descent a little bit. Let's slow us down. 250 knots. We want to be 250 knots by typic. Let's get some speed brakes out. Nick's Nick, yet again, you really are so kind, Nick. And Nick says towards some RAM as well. Well, maybe with that we might actually get into places like Paris. I still think I want to have to turn down some of the settings if ever we dared go there. But thank you once again, Nick. You are very kind and one of our longest supporters from the early days. And we're coming up to nearly 10,000 subscribers, which is just absolutely amazing. Oh, Willie, I'd give Nick a kiss. No problem at all. Alex, you'd get grey hair anyway, so at least now I have a good reason. Yeah, I'm just probably getting it a little sooner than anticipated. Poseidon, you were stuttering at 6 miles out all the way to touchdown, stuttering while taxiing, something wrong with the scenery. Well, at least you managed to touch down. Oh, Nick, it's the drink talking. Well, that's okay. I've only had half a bud and I'd still kiss you. So Alex, you're reckoning. That's great. Do you know what? Let's just take a quick straw poll for those of you that are in the know. We need to upgrade the RAM and obviously SSD. Which would you do first? Which would you do first? Okay, so after we pass, I better concentrate on this approach, hadn't I? After we pass Typic at 120, then we want to start our descent down to Lempu at 4,000 feet. And that descent rate looks pretty good. What are we, about 5 miles from Typic? We're at 14,000. Should be there in a minute or so. For those of you as well that saw the post I made on Facebook, not on Facebook, sorry, on YouTube today. Obviously, the world of work is slowly opening back up to everybody. So I want to try and time the streams so they're better for all of you guys. This is what makes the community so great. I mean, you guys on board. Cabrera, thank you very, very much, sir. Cabrera says, go for the RAM, go for the RAM. I'm going to have to do another poll, aren't I? Go for the RAM. Let's just set this down to 4,000 feet. So Cabrera, thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate that, and you're very, very kind. Very kind. So yeah, I want to make sure that the live streams that we do and are, you know, tailored to you guys. You guys make the channel, and it's amazing. So the poll that I asked was basically which sort of times are best for the live streams for you. for you to catch them. Now, we've always done daytime streams just because, well, I was sat twiddling my thumbs. The world of work wasn't what it used to be. As I'm sure it was the same for many of you as well. And I don't think we'll ever stop doing long haul Mondays. Mondays is great. We love Mondays. Right, so let's enter that approach phase and start getting down. We need to get down a little bit quicker than that. So, speed brake is out, 10,000 feet, seatbelt signs on, landing lights on as well. Now what we should be able to do here as well is we can do a Cat 3 landing. So you know what, I just need to enter a different decision height. Can we do a Cat? Can we do a Cat 3 or can we do an auto land here? I'm just having to double check the charts. I don't think we can actually. Not really anyway. Let's put some ice on. Oh, digital. Have you been drinking as well? Oh yeah. Honestly, mate, all of you, you really are very, very kind. Digital Flight Deck says, whichever way I go, this is to help. But once again, Digital, thank you very, very much for your continued support to the channel. It means a great deal. Nick says more gin, more donations. Okay, we're getting down to 4,000 feet at on time. We're a little bit fast, to be honest with you, but we'll be at 4,000 feet. Now, when will the stuttering begin? That's going to be the fun bit. I'm taking a risk here. We're going to get flight control replay up, and we're going to see what's going to happen. I'd love to record this, so then we can get that connected and record the replay. Okay, so we're now 4,000 feet. Speed is rolling back. Let's go. Flaps 1. Speed check was fine, so flaps 1. Let's turn the localizer on. We've got lock blue. And the stream is now recording, so we shall see. So we're going to now hold 4,000 feet, coming for landing. There we go, lock star, so we're about to capture that. Let's get the speed brakes back up as we start to slow down to green dot. In fact, we've passed green dot. John, you were watching on Facebook. Oh, you found us here on YouTube. Great stuff. Okay, localizer alive and capturing. And soon we should see Nice ahead of us. Oh, Nick, you've just reminded me about that. The QNH. And 4,000 feet coming in. Jacob Tyler, thank you very, very much, sir, for your kind donation as well. Jacob says he's a little bit more for the RAM. I'm going to run a poll. I am. I'm going to run a poll on Facebook. Not on Facebook, sorry. On YouTube, as I did earlier today. And we shall see whichever one thinks is best, RAM or SSD. One, 0, 2, 1. for the QNH. That should have been set a long time ago. Oh shush, there we go. Okay, so we're all set, and just waiting for that glide slope to come alive. Have I sat you guys back in your seats yet? Yes, I have. We can turn de-ice off though, we don't need that. $18 miles out. So, 18 miles out. Let's see when the frame rating will start. Boss Monkey 84, your SSD arrives tomorrow. Great stuff. Do you know the only thing that is going to be frustrating about the SSD? I mean, obviously it's going to be worth it, but it means re-downloading the simulator, unless anybody knows that you can transfer it over. I've not seen anywhere that you can yet. So, I think it has to be a new download, doesn't it? Okay, so glide slope alive. Autopilot 1 is on, autopilot 2 is on, Cat 3 dual. And oh, blooming heck, I wonder what on earth that was then. These pins popping up. And Nick, you trying to outdo digital? Seriously, the pair of you, you are unbelievably generous and kind. A new mouse or WD-40? I think it's going to have to be WD-40. The mouse works absolutely perfectly. It's just got a lovable squeak. And there we go. Glide slope captured. And we can go flaps 2. And just check that descent. And there it is. That's coming in quite nice. Okay, so we'll use the replay to enjoy the scenery after I've landed, because it's not an auto land capable runway, this I don't think. I haven't checked the charts properly. V1 Rotate Club with the 17.25 Canadian dollars donation says, sod the RAM and SSD, make t-shirts with, oh, I'm looking at my own arse. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you very, very much, V1. We're going to have to implement some, we're going to have to get some merch. Just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it. Right, so how are we doing? 3,000 feet, we're on our way down. And Digital, oh man, how much have you had to drink, Digital? Digital with another donation coming in. Nick Burrows, sit back down. I feel like an eBay item. That's classic. Oh, fantastic. Oh, well, every single one of you this evening has been unbelievably kind, and hopefully you've enjoyed the flight. I know here of us in the UK, we're up very late. Those of you obviously to the west of us, and in America, Canada, etc., we're probably at a more reasonable time for you. So 2,500, we're 7 miles away, 7.5 miles away. We can start to configure a little bit. In fact, let's configure just in case the frame rates start to annoy us. So let's get the landing gear down. Let's arm those spoilers. Let's get the lights on and ding the cabin crew. There we go. Auto brake not required. Decent enough length runway, this one. And now we can go flaps full. Well, flaps 3 first, and then followed shortly by flaps full. And then don't disappear. As soon as we've landed, guys, I'm going to show you the replay, and we can enjoy some of this this scenery. So I'm going to have to hand fly this in a moment. Ooh, a little bit of turbulence coming there, but that's a great looking approach with the clouds over the land. V1 rotate, this almost looks like a San Francisco approach. Yeah, it's just missing a couple of runways at 90 degrees to it. And Nick, you're going to run out of money for beer. You need to stop it. Nick says, new mouse or whatever. Even get more beers. The streams are great. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the streams, Nick. That's why we're here, to have a little bit of fun as well this evening. But once again, a huge thank you to you and everybody, and digital of course as well, that has donated this evening. So we're now at 1,000 feet.
1,000.
And landing checklist, I have no idea what the missed approach altitude is. Who cares? We're going to touch down. We're definitely touching down. The frame rates are looking much better, but cabin secured and ECAM memo landing no blue. Autopilot 1 and 2 disengaged. I have control. And let's see how the frame rates handle this then, shall we? One of the things I would try and say is I can see a little bit of frame rate issues, and that's as I'm panning around. I don't know if you can see that, but as I'm panning around I can see a little bit of an issue, but don't worry too much about that, as long as you can sort of get yourself sorted for a good lineup on the landing. But you can see a little bit of frame rates coming in, because there it is. There we go, it's just frozen a second. I would rather it freeze now and then it be fine when I come like 200 feet of touching down.
300. Minimum.
So just track that centre line a little bit more. A little bit of a wind actually coming over from the left. That's just blown us off. Let's get that back on. Not sure I believe those pappies.
50, 40, 30.
Frame rates are there, aren't they?
20. Retard. 10, 5.
Okay, so some frame rates coming into play there, and whoa. A little bit of a gust as well, spinning me over to the left. But we're down, and we're going to have a look around, and we're going to do a we're going to have a look at an instant replay as well. Willie sir, thank you very much for your very kind donation as well. Once again, thank you for being a long time supporter of the channel, and your comedy always brightens up our days here. Right, let's have a look around, shall we? I'm going to just plonk the aircraft here, because I'm going to run over that little truck if I don't. Let's just pop the parking brake on for a second. Let's get the drone camera out. So, what does this place look like? And we'll see how the frames hold out with actually panning around and going for a bit of a flight. Let's have a look. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got some static aircraft loaded in, which is probably not helping towards the frame rates, is it, to be honest? I should probably have turned those off. How much they interfere, I'm not sure. Cabrera, oh, thank you very much, sir, for your second. That's your second, isn't it? Donation to the stream. You really are too kind. And yeah, he says, so buy some RAM. It's almost a 50-50 split, isn't it, then, for what everybody's saying between RAM and SSD. Ah, hell with it. We'll just get both. We'll just get both. So, I've not seen the payware version of this airport, but this is looking mighty fine to me. One of the things that's concerning me, or not concerning me, but baffling me, is obviously this is now a handcrafted airport here, done by Azobo, done by Microsoft, as was and has been right from the launch of the sim, London Heathrow. And I've flown into London Heathrow absolutely loads, without any issues, frame rates or whatever. So London and London Heathrow to me is far greater in detail than places like this. So I'm wondering if it is things like the cache, which needs to be turned on if you're flying to places like this, can really help, because I think that will be a big help. And you know what? I'm just being distracted here. Look at the flags blowing in the wind. That's crazy. And I'm sure while I was chatting to you, then I also saw a train. Yeah, there we go. Is that a red train coming up? Just there. That's super. I mean, it's on the grass, but it's super. So, Nick, I know you've just bought the payware version of this, and there's only really you then that can do a decent comparison. So, what are we thinking? Alex, you're in Cincinnati right now, and you've got single-digit frame rates. Something's gone wrong. Oh, right, okay. Maybe they really do need to upgrade. Jacob, when you get RAM 32 gig, make sure it's a 32 megahertz. Fair shout, that, my friend. What am I on at the moment? Obviously a 16 gig, but I think it's at I think it's 24. I don't know. If you call up the Nightbot to give you the specs, it'll tell you. This is looking really nice, though. Here's another airport that I want to fly to. We could just fly Rotterdam to Nice, couldn't we? Bypassing Paris. But this is really nice, and we've not got docking systems that work, do we? No, not yet. I've not seen a working docking system yet. I don't know if Orbex are working on those. But look, we do have gate numbers. That's great stuff. And should we just nip into the terminal? Have they popped anything into the terminal? Because they did at Liverpool, didn't they? They got stairs, they got shops, they got... I mean, what's that? The terminal is empty. Oh, we've got a few chairs. And these are just little Easter egg things, aren't they? I mean, you're flying around. No one cares what's actually inside a terminal. But I think it's just nice to see. But yeah, this is looking really, really nice, really neat. They've done a good job. Maybe something has gone wrong with the optimization. I'm not sure. Maybe we need to be a little bit more realistic with the settings. I have actually tweaked these. Do you know what? I will. It's late. I need to go to bed, but I will stay on. You've all been so kind this evening, and so I will stay on just a few minutes longer. What I'm going to do, actually, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording. Louis Catolo, thank you very much, sir, for your very, very kind donation as well. Hope you've enjoyed the flight and found the stream useful this evening. So, very, very kind of you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a look. Let's just go into my settings, because some of the things I turned up, but I turned them up a few days ago. So let's have a look. We can leave that there, that's fine. Right, the level of detail, let's drop that back down to 100, because I didn't used to have that at 130, so let's just drop that down. Buildings fine, trees, turn those down, we don't need those. Volumetric clouds, we leave those at ultra. Never had a problem with ultra before. All of these that are at ultra have always been at ultra throughout, and never caused a problem. So they're all fine. What we got there, reflections, yeah, they've been at ultra, as is the depth of field. Depth of field you want to really use when using the drone camera anyway. But they all look fine. So what I'm going to do now is we'll just apply and save that. then if we go into our traffic settings, once that's saved, there we go. Let's just go into the traffic. Let's get rid of the ground aircraft, shall we? Or at least drop that right down. And save that. And Lewis says, thank you for your passion and patience. Oh, you're very, very welcome. And Mark, yeah, NVIDIA settings could be tweaked too, so that's probably something I need to look into because we've not updated the NVIDIA drivers for a while. Although people are telling me that the latest one's not that great. Let me go back and now go into its assistance, isn't it? Just go into assistance and turn those navigation aids off because they've got to do something. So turn the point of interest markers off, city markers off, apply and save. There we go. Go back, resume, and let's just see if that seems to have actually cleaned things up a little bit. Do you know what, actually, I know you can't always tell in a stream because it's obviously streamed, it's not 100% live, but that actually does feel a little bit smoother, a little bit better. I'm not saying it's going to have I'm not saying we'd have landed at Charles de Gaulle, but there you go. Okay, so now we've just turned those down. Let me get back to the aircraft and jump inside. Let's have a look at that landing, shall we? Let's load the replay. Before I do, a couple of things we need to do. Turn off the warnings and turn off the parking brakes, because if you land with the parking brakes on it kind of wrecks your aircraft. So let's just load that. And I will also check out what this looks like at night as well. So we're just going to load that file. And automatically it does that when you load a replay. So now's as good a time as any to have a quick look and see how that looks. So that looks quite nice as well. And one of the things that I like about the modded airports and handcrafted airports is the night lighting is always far superior. That's one of the things I struggle with when flying on VATSIM, is to find the correct parking stands. Okay, let's just reset that time. So we're going to have a bit of a daytime landing. Early morning landing, how would that be? Long shadows. Let's hit play and let's enjoy the view, shall we? So how far out was this? This was actually quite far out, I think, when we initially set this. Yeah, you can see. So let me just fast forward that a little bit. There we go. So this is quite a nice scenic approach coming into Nice, and there's the elevation data that we've been talking about. Frame rates wise, that's looking fine. We're obviously still far away, and of course here in a replay the sceneries should already have been loaded in. But I am going to turn, as soon as we finish the stream, I'm going to turn the manual cache back on, and that's going to probably take all night to download, but that's fine. Back for a normal stream tomorrow afternoon then, guys. And Christian, if you ask for a thunderstorm landing, I'm not going to do it just because I want to see the scenery. But this is far, far smoother. So maybe that first time flying over is going to cause the problems. I mean, what we're showing now, we're showing between 35 and 45 frames per second, which is more than enough. Even if you can maintain 25, that's smooth enough to land the aircraft. So Christian, that's a good shout. Move the reflections back up to from high from ultra. So yeah, we can do that. Pierre, yeah, we've just seen the shuttle between the two terminals. That was quite nice. So yeah, we're just enjoying the... we're not bothered about the landing. We just want to see the scenery. But how good does this look? It's phenomenal, isn't it? And I know that there will always be those that say, you know, X-plane, 3PD, that's the way to go to get your flight dynamics. And yeah, okay, certainly to an extent, it is at the moment. But, you know, I think from a sheer enjoyment part of view, when you've got teams like FlyByWire doing what they are doing, then I don't think I could go back to FSX or X-plane, anything like that. The immersion factor does it for me. The immersion factor is fantastic. And for those of you that are lucky enough to have VR as well, that must be absolutely immense. Although, with this update, God knows what kind of machine you need to run that. But that's just beautiful. And Lewis, Lewis again. Lewis says, let's make that donation a bit better because the currency exchange killed your original intentions. Oh, Lewis, don't worry about it, mate. Honestly, every single donation is from is obviously appreciated, and is so kind for each and every one of you. The replay mod is called Flight Control Replay, which is nice and nice and easy to use and set up. It had a bit of teething problems when it was first released, but other than that, it's working quite well. And if we just get the wrong screen. If we just get the camera out, speed up the drone speed, and unlock it, my aeroplane will disappear, but hopefully I can catch that up. I'm trying to chase my aircraft. Hang on, just pause that a second. If we can then zip forward, we'll watch the aircraft land on final. And what I really like about this, I don't know if you've ever done it, if you just take the drone camera out, or if you've been flying in a GA aircraft and turn the engines off when you've landed somewhere quiet, you can just hear the wind, you can hear wildlife, and it's amazing. It really is. So do try that if you haven't tried that already. But there you go. That looks rather fast, doesn't it? Great stuff. But it means we can also take a very quick tour then. I have no idea where... I have no local knowledge of this area. I have never been. But I'm guessing those of you that do, you're probably going to tell me it looks blooming good. One of the things I didn't do is actually look at the airport from the outside, which we always try and do as well, because lots of details normally shown. Oh, is that the train shuttle? Oh, look at that, there you go. That's perfect, that's amazing. Wow. That is really, really neat. And it looks like, I apologise for my earlier comment. I said the train would look like it was on the grass. It's not indeed. The rails are there. when I get to the end, I want to see what it says on the train. Have they actually got Terminal 2 or Terminal 1, etc. written on the train? There you go. Terminal 2, the airport. Wow. That's insane, isn't it, guys? For those of you that's kicked off your flight simming career with FS95 or sooner, or even 98, 2000, the fact that we're now enjoying this is just completely mind-boggling. It's amazing. I love it. Okay, guys, it's now 20 to 2 in the morning. I'm afraid I am going to have to call that a night. You guys have been great company and unbelievably generous throughout the stream this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we've obviously had a little bit of an interesting time coming into Paris. I'm going to try that again off stream, not tonight, but I'm going to try that again and see if there's something else that we can do. But yeah, I'd say thumbs up to Azobo. The scenery that we've got here now over France, Benelux, etc. is fantastic. So we'll be back tomorrow with another normal real ops flight in the EasyJet colours, of course. That'll probably be tomorrow afternoon, and I look forward to seeing many of you then. Big thank you to those of you that are subscribed to the channel. Massive thanks to each and every one of you that has donated and contributed to the stream, and as always, a big thank you to the channel supporters and members. It's you guys that helps make this community, and certainly allows me to spend as much time streaming for you guys as I do. So big thank you to all of you. Really enjoyed tonight. I'm rather tired, and the beer bottle is now empty. Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.